All right, what's up, reviewers? This is Smooth the Reviewer, and today I'm going to be talking about Oshinoko Season 2 for the first time on this channel. Well, this is my first time talking about Oshinoko at all on this channel. And before I get started reviewing this episode, this is episode 5 of Season 2. I'll give my quick thoughts on the first season. I thought the first season was great. I really enjoyed the first season, even though there were some minor issues I had with it. But like overall, I enjoyed it so much to the point where I'm fully caught up with the manga now. Actually, so I'm not gonna do any like spoilers in this video, but like I am all caught up with the manga because I enjoyed like season 1 that much, especially after like that first episode. Just kind of really just hits you in the feels, and then the second reason is what I'm gonna talk about in this video, and that is Akane, pretty much. Okay, like I know right now. All right, so this scene right here where we have Kana talking with Akane about how I'll prevail over you and I'll make it so nobody will ever call me a former genius child actor again. These two's dynamic is really pretty good in this show. Like they have these deep, like sort of hatred, but also respect for each other. Because after she says this, she walks away. Then Akane is like, she's been looking forward to this too. I've been waiting a long, long time. You know, these two are such like strong characters for like this entire show that they really like seeing to get them together really like elevates the show as a whole. But like what I want to, but like Akane herself. See, I'm an Akane fan. Okay, I know there's like right now there's kind of this rivalry in the community. Do you support Kana? Do you support Ruby? Or do you support Akane? Because all three of them are kind of the love interest of Aqua, and that's kind of like where I sit on it with Akane, but not just the fact like her relationship with Aqua, because that is also something that's like really important to the story here too. So if we go back to the beginning here, I think, yeah, here we go. Here we go. We go back to the beginning, and if you remember from last episode, Aqua had that whole like breakdown, because he's remembering his past trauma. So Akane took him home, and she made a little bit of dinner for him. It was very great. And then she's like, just as you saved me, I want to support you. Words that every guy wants to hear every now and then. Very good words to hear. But then we kind of get this part where Akane asks, can she look at Aqua's like old acting stuff? And this is kind of an interesting thing where Aqua says, I don't really care. But then the director here is like shocked because I can't really get the words right there. But basically the director is like shocked because Aqua has never let anyone else like see him from his childhood acting days. And that is very interesting because it shows that like Aqua kind of like trusts Akane, or like, respects her enough to like let her see him when he was like sort of in a troubling time. And it's also what leads up to this amazing scene right here. Okay, this scene, if you've been on Twitter for like the past week ever since this episode dropped, this scene right here has literally just been on my timeline for like the whole week, like literally. So Akane like basically comes on the balcony here and just talks to Aqua about, and basically she wants to know like the real reason why he's even doing all this. Why is he performing the play? Why did he act on Sweet Today? Like why is he doing all this? And then it all leads to this moment here where where Akane is like, you are always trashing other people for not being open, but you're not open yourself, pretty much. Yeah, she talks about communication, but you're super secretive. So then we get this moment right here where Aqua finally tells someone what he's planning to do. Supposing I told you my goal in this was to kill someone, what would you do? There's this person high up in the entertainment industry, and I want to rise to the top to do away with them. And then he's having this whole like dark side moment right here where he's got the dark star in his eye, and then he's like, what would you do? Because obviously he's trying to like scare Akane here. He's trying to like make her feel like intimidated and all that, because like, you know, he doesn't want anyone to really know his goals. But then Akane does like a full 180 right here. Her eyes go blank, and then she says, I'd help you kill them. Oh my gosh, this moment was so good. I remember reading this moment, and it was so good. Akane just by herself elevates this show and this manga so much. Like, I genuinely feel like if it wasn't for like Akane and like her personality, and I'm speaking like her actual personality here, you know, like the way she is, if she wasn't like such a hardcore like good detective and all that, and like kind of socio psychopathic. I don't know what the correct word is. She's got a, you know, she's kind of crazy a little bit, you know, because she says this, I'd help you kill them, and then she does it with a smile. Yo, this girl is just straight smiling right here, and then this man Aqua is shook. Look at his face right here, dude. This man is just shook all over. He doesn't know what to say. He's like, hey, don't say nothing like that so casually. But then Akane goes on to explain like, hey, I'm sure you got your reasons and all that, but like even despite that, she still wants to like support him no matter what. And this and yeah, let me say again, this was just such like, cause see, I remember like once season one finished, I remember seeing like a comment or something like that, you know, she was gonna do even crazier things, because like if you remember in season one, she basically imitated I like perfectly. She imitated I perfectly, and that stunned Aqua too. Like, this girl is good at making Aqua get stunned. Like, it's crazy. But then I remember seeing a comment saying she does, like, later on in the manga, she does even like crazier stuff than that. And this was one of those crazier moments. Her just straight up saying, "Hey, look, no matter what, even if you are dedicated to being a killer, I'm still gonna be by your side." And like, you know, in a way, I think in a way we all love it, but then again, it's also a little bit frightening too, you know. But but then I want to also say that like I also remember seeing on Twitter for the past week. I remember one account basically saying how like the views for Oshinoko like spike whenever she has like a scene like this. Cause see, that's another thing, you know. I remember Chibi made a video about this too. He said that like he doesn't feel like a lot of people are like talking about Oshinoko season 2 as much as season 1, and you know, he didn't really understand why. You know, some reasons for it could be that like, you know, this season didn't have like a 1 hour first episode, you know, that might have like just like the first season, so that may have like hurt it a little bit. But then he was like, it could also be like, you know, the story itself, where it's kind of like it's not really focusing on like Aqua's like revenge plot a whole lot, you know. And I guess that's something I do kind of want to talk about in this video. So right now, currently, we're still on the freaking the 2.5D stage play, right? And I think, and this arc, I think, is like kind of one of the problems I feel like with Oshinoko as a whole, where it's kind of like, you know, for it to not focus on like sort of the revenge plot, that's one thing, okay? You know, the whole story can't just be about the revenge plot. I can understand like why the author might want to like, you know, focus on other stuff, like, you know, sort of, because, you know, at the end of the day, it's a story about the entertainment industry and like sort of how it just goes down and everything, how everything works. But in that regard, you still kind of like have to make the story interesting around it and like with it. and I feel like one of the like the biggest problem for Ocean no Ko with me as a whole is just that the everything else that like isn't like the romance stuff or the revenge plot, it's not as interesting. And I think the reason for that is because it's just a lot of explaining. So like right here, you know, the director is basically like telling Aqua that he has no choice but to do intensely emotional acting. And then it kind of skips past this, but then we get this scene with like Ruby showing up to like greet Aqua and all that. I think it's just kind of like all of this build up that's like happening in order for us to like actually get to the play, because then we got this little beef with Kana and Akane that's pretty good. But basically my point is that once the next episode, the play is actually going to start, and it's going to be fire. I guarantee the play is going to be fire. But you see how it's taken us 5 whole episodes to actually get the play started? And this is what I mean, where it's like, what I'm trying to say, it takes a long time for like things to happen. That's basically what I'm trying to say. You know, like very like crazy things have good crazy and good things happen in this story, but the problem I find with it is just that the build up just takes quite a while for those moments to actually happen, because the story is just so busy like explaining every little detail about the entertainment industry. It's so busy like explaining like, hey, like with that with the other episode where it's like the game of telephone, writers have their, when you're doing other types of media of your like creation, it's sort of a game of telephone, and like things can get lost between the communication. It's like the story has to go through stuff like that before before the characters can like actually do things. Like we've spent this whole time like having this back and forth, with the creator Akibo, whatever what her name was, I forget, like Abiko Sensei. We've spent like this whole 5 episodes like trying to deal with her mostly and trying to get her on board. And that kind of just, for me, and like for me personally, that kind of just, it just kind of takes too long. Like I want to just kind of just get to like the actual play. I'm, like I said, I'm okay with build up. I'm not trying to say that like I don't like build up and all that, because like obviously you need build up, but it's just like I feel like these first couple 5 episodes could have been like cut a little bit like shorter. Like I don't know how, but like I'm just saying, this is like just the story as a whole. Like some things, when you're too busy trying to explain everything that's like going on before characters actually take action towards anything, it can get kind of it can get a little bit boring, and you can kind of lose interest at points. But like I said, when those hype moments hit, they hit. Just like this moment right here on screen. This image is also all over Twitter too, where Kana is like meaning business. Both of them mean business, really. But then, what's this guy's name? Himikawa. He's like, Kana will definitely win because those two are basically a pair. And this shot from Aqua right here. This is a nice shot right here too. And then I also like this shot right here. This is the shot we saw from the trailer where like each character is like transitioning into their outfit and walking past each other. See, I thought this shot here was just only for the trailer, but no, it's actually like in the episode, and I don't know, some part of me just like really likes that. But then, so we're finally here. The play is finally about to start. Aqua apparently like trained with the director for a few days to like, figure out what he's going to do about it, and everything is ready. So that's pretty much my thoughts on this season so far, and what I think of Oshinoko as a whole right now. Again, I still enjoy it. I still just enjoy the story as a whole, and I still pretty much enjoy season 2. But again, I think the reason, maybe it's not talked about as much is just because, it's just it's building up. It's a lot of build up, lots of build up to like get to the actual play. And again, revenge plot is not really the focus. It's not really the focus, but it doesn't need to be. But again, it's not really. It's really shoved into the background. It's really, really shoved into the background, and it's just like you get breadcrumbs every now and then. It's like the story just kind of feeds you breadcrumbs of the revenge plot every now and then. But hopefully, you get more people stick around when more things regarding that plot happens, if that's the reason, like people are sticking around. And hopefully with this, what happens after this arc keeps people interested too, because I'm personally excited for what happens after the stage play. If some crazy, some hype things happen after this stage play too. So anyways, that's pretty much it for the video. Let me know your thoughts on this season so far down in the comments, and what you think of the story as a whole, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.